Welcome to CCN Midday News. I'm your host, Captivating Krishna. Here are some of your top stories for today, April 16th. Tyson Foods says 2 dead at the coronavirus outbreak in the Iowa plant. Trump threatens to adjourn both chambers of Congress, something no president has ever done. Lock her up. Anti-Whitmer coronavirus lockdown protestors swarm Michigan's capital. Pennsylvania State Senate votes to override governor's stay-at-home order. A Florida doctor who was handcuffed in front of his home before volunteering with the homeless says that he was profiled. And lastly, 3 Colorado men arrested for violating the state's coronavirus stay-at-home order. Let's get to the news. 2 employees have died following the coronavirus outbreak that has stricken scores of Tyson Foods workers at the large pork plant in the southeast Iowa. The company said on Wednesday the deaths of the workers at the Tyson plant in Columbus Junction are the first known to be linked to an outbreak at the meatpacking plant in Iowa. The company said that it was deeply saddened by the loss of the 2 team members and that their families were in their thoughts and prayers. The plant has been idle since April 6, when Tyson announced that 2 more dozen workers were infected. The company said on Monday that it will continue the plant suspension this week after more workers tested positive. Donald Trump is threatening to use a never-before-employed power of his office to adjourn both chambers of Congress so he can make recess appointments to fill vacant positions within his administration. He says Senate Democrats are keeping empty amidst the coronavirus pandemic. Mr. Trump opened his daily virus press brief conference on Wednesday by grappling about the Senate Democrats blocking 10 of his nominees, alleging that many otherwise would be working on the virus-related efforts. He offered few specifics, however, on how the federal virus response might be different if a substantial amount of these individuals have been appointed to upper chambers. Article 2, Section 3, Clause 3 of the U.S. Constitution gives the President power to adjourn both chambers if they cannot agree on an adjourn date. No chief executive has ever used it. Also, just so you know that the Senate is more conservative Republican than it is Democrat. So I don't understand why he's blaming the Democrats, because it's not necessarily their doing. But anyway, on to the next story. Thousands of demonstrators descended on the state capitol in Landings, Michigan on Wednesday to protest Governor Whitmer's restrictive stay-at-home orders, clogging the streets with their cars while scores ignored organizers' plea to stay at home inside their vehicles. Protesters dubbed the Operation Gridlock was organized by the Michigan Conservative Coalition and the Michigan Freedom Fund, a DeVos family-linked conservative group. Protesters were engaged to show up and cause traffic jams, honk, and bring signs to display from their cars. Organizers wrote on Facebook, "Do not park and walk, stay in your vehicles." Many ignored the demand. Demonstrators on foot were seen waving American "Don't Tread on Me" and Trump campaign flags. At least 2 Confederate flags were also spotted. The Pennsylvania State Senate on Wednesday sent a bill that would partly lift the lockdown on most of the state's businesses to Governor Tom Wolf's desk. The measure, Senate Bill 613, would require the governor's office to align with federal guidelines in determining which businesses will be allowed to reopen during the pandemic, allowing all of those that can safely operate with the margin strategy under Center for Disease Control and Prevention and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency's guidelines. The measure passed the Senate 29 to 21 Wednesday after passing the State House 107 to 95 on Tuesday. The Republican Senate also approved a bill that would allow the county government to implement their own plans to reopen independent of the state's plan. The Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee condemned the move, which comes the same day protesters in Michigan and Ohio demonstrated in favor of reopening without observing social distancing guidelines. As the wife and child watched from inside, a Miami doctor was handcuffed in front of his home while he said he was loading supplies for the homeless residents into a van. The Miami police officer said that he stopped the doctor for leaving trash in his yard. Dr. Armand Henderson says that he was targeted because of his race. If I was fairer skinned or a white person just doing the same thing, I don't believe he would have stopped me, Henderson said. It was the nature of the stop that concerned me. Now the incident is under investigation by both the police department and the civil investigative panel, a city department that independently investigates the Miami police. Henderson is an internalist at the University of Miami Health System and has been testing the city's homeless residents for the coronavirus since March. Three men in Colorado were nabbed for violating the state stay-at-home order in place to help curb the spread of the coronavirus. Police in Steamboat Springs responded to a call around 9 p.m. Monday from a man who said a roommate invited friends over to their residence, violating the self-quarantine order. According to the Denver Channel, the caller told police that he tried to get the visitors to leave without much success. And once again, thank you for watching CCN Midday News. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also hit that notification button so you will never miss another news update. Have a great day. Peace.